I am excited to break into this one, man. I'm still amped up about that win. I couldn't sleep last night, and I'm lucky enough to have this Friday off. So we're breaking into the tape first thing in the morning. I got some coffee. We're going to look at how the Falcons and Kirk Cousins attacked down the field, intermediate to deep throws. What can they do better? What did they do great? Because when you passed for 509 yards, you were doing something right. I'll tell you that, man. You don't got to be a fucking football expert to know that. So right here, what we're going to see is just kind of a mirrored concept that works out really well for us because they're playing this middle field close coverage. So you're going to see kind of these outside stop routes coming up, and then you're going to have it paired with these seam routes, just booking it up the middle. And they flash wide open here for Pitts. Again, cover 3, so in this middle field closed coverage, we don't want to attack this player. We want to kind of attack the spaces around him because they have the outside players too. So that's what we do here. We attack with the seam ball. So right here, Kirk Cousins holds the safety, sees its middle field closed, comes right down to Pitts, likes the angle, throwing that ball early, on time, and Pitts makes a great catch, gets upfield. So that's easy offense, man. And, I'm not going to sit here and pretend the Bucs defense was playing great because when you pass for 509 yards, nobody on defense is playing great. But, you still have to take advantage. You have to get these downfield opportunities. And we started off on the first drive with one. So that was a great, kind of sign of what was to come. Next one here, we're just going to see the kind of two-man route concept off the play action, really sucking in these linebackers. Max protect, only 2 people downfield, and they're both wide open. We hit Mooney here. We also had an opportunity to hit Drake London if we like that, second and more. However, Mooney wins. He's been putting, these defensive backs on watch at the top of these routes. So what are we doing here? So again, everybody else is staying in the block. You have Drake London coming up on kind of this over route, kind of crosser, if you will. And then you have the ball coming up here to Mooney, once again putting a crazy move on before getting outside. So just watch Mooney work, man. And he had such a phenomenal game. So right here, across his face, break back outside. Wide open window. We're throwing this with anticipation. Am I crazy, or are we throwing that with anticipation? So look at Kirk right here. He's lined up to throw it. He's getting that thing out there on time. Makes it a really easy catch for Mooney. So again, that's something Kirk did all game, and we talked about it in the last video too. Throwing with anticipation, man. He's a timing quarterback, and when you get these timing quarterbacks protected in rhythm, it can get really dangerous for the defense. All right, next one here, we're going to see nice throw to Ray, top of the screen, kind of on an out route. This isn't pushing the ball deep downfield, but this is a nice, 10-plus yard gain, a first down, layering it over his own defender's head. It's great. And again, pass pro up front. We're leaving Algier in the Hope block. They send in forward, dropping somebody off. Algier hopes out Caleb McGarry, and we get time to throw it. So, again, great job. Now, concept-wise, what are we doing here? So you're going to see Drake London ripping it down the seam. You're going to see Mooney ripping it down the seam. You're going to pair it with Ray up here on this out route where he kind of gets the ball. And then you're going to also have Pitts down here kind of motioning out and then going on another kind of go route. So this is the bones of the concept here, and it just works out really well for us because, I think this zone defender here kind of gets done dirty. He's trying to push him back to this half-field safety, trying to drop underneath. He kind of loses track of where Ray is because I think if he releases outside with his hips, then he's in a better position to break on this ball. But since he doesn't, we're able to get the ball right underneath him because he's in this robot technique, not really trying to play the ball, fit it right over his head, make a great catch outside. So this is one of the ones, I think we get done a favor by the defense. That said, the throw's also there, and we do a good job putting it over him. Because, the moment their backs turns like that, you just throw it, man. He's not going to make a play on the ball. So great job by Kirk. Easy concepts. The Bucs defense was not doing much to stop us on a lot of these. This isn't anything gotcha. This is just, being better. All right, we're able to kind of hit vacated space, middle of the field on this short post against, to me, what looks like quarter, half coverage. And we just do a phenomenal job with the player of the day here, Kadero Hodge, making a big catch, before his one in overtime. So right here, Kirk does a great job just layering between these linebackers. Tampa's doing all their pressure looks, whatever. Who the hell cares, man? We ripped them apart. So right up here, when we talk about this short post route, the goal is kind of come up here, get to the second level, get behind them, and kind of attack this space between where you're going to see this safety plan and this linebacker kind of dropping in here. So it works out really well for us over here, and Kirk does a great job layering it in here. So again, they drop this player out, we have this window. Again, there's cushion between the safety and second levels player. So these short post windows, they can be tight sometimes. Like if these linebackers are getting more depth, this is a tighter throw. But we were able to make a great play. Great job from Hodge. Great job from Kirk. Kind of getting to this, knowing what he wants to get to as soon as he sees the coverage. This is first read. He knows exactly where he wants to go. They're gonna put these linebackers on the field. We're gonna attack them in coverage, man. Like, get out of here with that. All right, we got another seam ball, the big touchdown to Mooney, man. This is phenomenal. We see Tampa too. We know that those seams in Tampa can be vulnerable, and we put a phenomenal football up to Mooney. He makes one hell of a catch. This is a play that'll put hair on your chest, man. It's amazing. I love it. I can't overstate how much I love this. So again, Tampa 2, the goal of Tampa is basically to have, the Tampa 2 coverage. You have your two deep safeties, and you're going to have, this linebacker here. His goal is kind of to book to here and cover that middle. So, you're trying to avoid the middle field open part of the coverage. But what we see here is with this inside fade, Mooney's just booking it, and this player here is trying to follow him. So there's a little bit of a seam window here. And what we're pairing it with here is kind of this player coming up. So if you didn't like the window here, you can try to hit this player, and then we're also going to have Ray coming up here, kind of running this like stop route right over here. But these Tampa 2 coverages, those seams are vulnerable. This middle field close player, he's trying to play the seams, but you need to watch for him. If you like the angle, if you like that, the room you have there, you just throw the ball. And that's what we do here. Right here, we're like, okay, there's space right here. We have this open window. I like my guy versus their linebacker. We're just going to throw it. And we throw a phenomenal football. It's awesome. It's awesome, man. The Tampa 2 coverage here, just challenging them downfield. Don't giving it to them, being like, hey, we're going to make you prove you can cover. And they don't do it right here. One hell of a football play, man. All right, this is an interesting one because to me we get both lucky and unlucky here. So you're going to see Tampa. To me, this is some sort of quarters coverage here, and the issue when you're trying to attack, kind of with these end breakers versus quarters, is there's a safety ready to drive down on the football unless you occupy him. So usually when you're trying to run these ends and attack quarters, I like to kind of the offenses kind of pair it with like a deep route. So to me, what I'd rather do here is something like this where we have Pitts coming up, running that kind of short post meant to attack this, and then you would try to run Drake here underneath on that end. So what that would do is that would kind of put this player here in a bind. But we don't do that. We're kind of running Pitts here on the outside. Drake still coming up on this end. Down here, to me, this looks like a Mooney kind of pick route, and then you're pairing it with Ray coming up on the out. So to me, I think we can complement this in route from Drake more by trying to occupy and challenge this quarter safety here. Because again, you can just see he doesn't have anything potentially holding him here. Where if you release Pitts right here and have him on that post angle, you have more of an opportunity to kind of high-low this player. And if he drives, you throw the post. If he stays back, you throw the end. So to me, that's a bit of a schematic thing. That said, we also throw a pretty good football out there that probably should not have been there. Because, again, if this player plays this better, he should be picking it off. But we have a chance there. It's been unfortunate. He kind of gets tipped there at the end. So I think that's one we got lucky on. Wish we would have came down with the catch. But to me, that's a schematic thing. I don't like running these end breakers versus quarters without something there to potentially challenge that quarter safety. Make it where he can't drive on you for free. All right, on this one, we're going to see, anticipation, not putting the most precise ball out there. It's a bit unfortunate. Obviously Kirk played amazing. I'm not here to, pretend he didn't, but we do, are a little imprecise with the ball here. I also think, it could be on Mooney. Maybe Kirk's expecting Mooney to not break back to the ball, but rather break outside, and that's just kind of a miscommunication thing. So, concept-wise, nothing too crazy here. I kind of got Pitts coming over the middle, kind of got Drake coming over the middle, and then you have it paired with this to the flat. And then really where we're trying to go with the ball is just kind of a stop route coming up here, coming back to the football. Now, this is where, anticipation and everything. Also, look at the offensive line, man. This is so good. I love it, man. I love the offensive line play this game. Don't even come at me talking about they didn't play great, man. Shut the hell up. Learn football. So right here, throwing with anticipation. And when we throw with anticipation, it does two things. It means we don't have to be as precise, but also it means we might not be as precise because we're not quite seeing the break angle here that the player is going for. Now, Mooney might have been seeing the angle of this player and be like, hey, why don't you throw me inside? So we don't know who's in the wrong here. This is just one of those ones. You're trying to have a timing route. Again, could Mooney catch this? Maybe. It's a really tough catch. I'm not going to blame him. I think he barely scrapes his fingertips on it. But yeah, so this is just a bit of a miss. A little unfortunate, again, playing with good time and anticipation, and just the ball, not quite where we want it. Like, could we catch that? I don't know, man. That's a tough catch. So, not on the same page. Don't know if it's Kirk. Don't know if it's Mooney. Either way, given everything else we saw this play, wave this one, or everything else we saw this game, wave this one away. A bit of a miss. It's fine. We have a phenomenal route by Drake London. Tampa's going to come out here in quarters, so they got this safety kind of ready for this inside release of Drake, except he's not ready because he gets set up with this inside move. Drake able to get him kind of flat-footed and create that separation at the top of his route. Kirk kind of opens left, comes back right, throws a pretty good ball. I think we can put a little bit better ball out there, but for me, I'm a good enough deep ball thrower. I don't want you hunting for the perfect deep ball. Just put a good enough ball out there that our guys can catch it. So, that's kind of philosophical for me. I think when you're chasing the perfect throw, you can sometimes miss the easy ones. So Drake London, just phenomenal job creating this separation, kind of breaking inside, kind of right by this linebacker. Bottom of the screen, you're also going to have kind of Mooney coming up, and then we're going to have Ray on the out route. So let's go ahead and just watch Drake London's route. And Kirk also does a good job kind of navigating what I would call a, muddy pocket. This is good pass pro. Sometimes in the NFL, you're going to have to work from a congested pocket. But do they give you time? Do they give you space? Do you have time to kind of step through your throw and get the ball out there? And we do here. So right here, that's good enough to me. You got to make throws in this pocket. Now, obviously, you'd like to see, a little bit better and not quite that pushback. But at the end of the day, they know we're passing it. We passed it all day. So again, Drake London's route right here, inside move, outside. He's gone. No shot here. This guy's doomed. I love it, man. Great way to attack quarters. So don't listen to people who tell you you can't throw deep versus these too high looks. You can. You just got to be better. All right, next one here. If I'm brutally honest, I don't know why we just don't throw this to Drake London here. It obviously works out for us, but I don't understand the process here for not throwing this to Drake. I understand sometimes this is going to happen in a game where you skip reads. Nobody's perfect, right? So I don't want to overstate it. But that said, we can all kind of look at the film here and see he opens towards Drake London. Drake London is there. If we put this on Drake London's back shoulder, he's probably getting upfield for 10 yards. That said, we managed to work backside, kind of get through a full read. 1, 2, 3, great throw to get it to Mooney here. And conceptually what we're doing here is, Drake's coming up and just kind of running this stop route. You have Pitts running down the field to kind of occupy these players. And then you're going to see where the ball actually goes here to Mooney, kind of coming up. Again, they're so scared of his speed that it gives them these opportunities to win outside. And this is where speed just kills in the NFL. And you're also going to have kind of Algier coming over the middle and just settling. So this is the concept here. I think Drake's there. I don't really know why I don't throw it. So again, right here, first read. I don't know why we're not throwing that. Again, he winds up like he wants to. Don't know why he doesn't. All right, come back. We don't like Ray. So we're going to go to Mooney. This is kind of the same window. So whichever one flashes is where you really want to throw it. And we just put a really good ball out there. And again, these defenders are so afraid of Mooney's speed because he's been able to win deep so consistently, not just this game but across the season. That they're just a little worried about it. And it allows him to create this separation on the outside, which is great because we have a contested catch guy in Drake, and then we have a receiver here who has such speed and such great routes at the top of his stibs that he's able to just consistently win like this. And he's been phenomenal for us. Cannot overstate how good Mooney's been. We come back to it. We talked about it in the last video. Falcons running the Hank concept here. 3 deep kind of stop route, hitch routes, whatever. You pair with kind of 2 flat routes, and you're just reading a zone defender. So we talked about this in the last video. They kind of ran, not quite the same concept, but what looked like it between the hash and the sideline right here. Great execution on it. Great ball from Kirk Cousins. A lot of anticipation. That's how you have to make this play work. So what we're doing here, we're going to have Drake London coming up, running his hitch. You're going to have Mooney coming up here, running his hitch, and you have this middle field hook coming up and running there. And what you're doing is there's going to be linebackers. These are the safeties. They're going to drop out of it. I guess I should go ahead and pair that we kind of run with it, these two routes. So you have your flat routes and you have your down the field stuff. So what you're trying to do is, as we'll play it here, you are reading the linebacker. So this player right here. If he goes inside, you throw it behind him. If he goes outside, you throw it inside him. So this is just really easy execution. You see Kirk's reading him right here. He's like, okay, he settled inside. I'm throwing it outside. Throwing it with look at that anticipation, man. That's phenomenal. That's as good as it gets, man. That's incredible. I love it. Amazing. So again, Hank concept, pretty traditional way to run it. Works out here. We just got to hold on to the football, man. So great job from Kirk, throwing with anticipation. Great job up front. This pass pro was so good all day. I love it. We got another double in concept out of the 3x1. Pair it with that kind of hitch route underneath it. So if we need to check it down, you just throw it to Mooney here. But we get what we want with the double N. Able to kind of pull this linebacker towards Drake, and by doing that, we're able to hit Mooney right behind him. It's awesome. I love it. Again, this is a concept we've been running over the course of these games, and none of this is new, what we're running here. That said, we do a great job getting to it. So right here, you want to go over the linebacker, and then you want to release across him. You're going to pair it with Drake coming up, running it in, and you have Mooney here coming up, kind of running this stop route. So this is the meat of the concept here. This is what we're going to focus on. So off the snap, again, Kirk looking. Okay, this linebacker, he's trying to take away Drake on the end. What does that do? It leaves this second window open. And we also have pressure in our face here, and we do a great job not caring and delivering the ball. Because, again, when your offensive line, this is kind of like the psychological part of this, man. When your offensive line has largely been holding up all day, you kind of trust them. So you're less likely to be worried every single snap, so you're more willing to kind of sit in there and take hits and make good throws. So, credit to the offensive line, because if you're playing good 90% of the time, the 10% you're not, the quarterback's going to be more comfortable with it, and he's going to be able to make plays in the face of that pressure. So this is awesome from the offensive line, from the quarterback. Great ball from Kirk, great execution on the double end. Just, whichever way that linebacker goes, we're going to target the other side. So it's phenomenal. Phenomenal football. This is phenomenal quarterback play. This is a window Kirk Cousins opens with his eyes. He opens this middle of the field window. It is not there until he just totally moves this linebacker. Oh my God. I'm hyped up, man. This is some of the funnest quarterback play I've gotten to see in a while, man. This is awesome. I am so happy I get to break this down. It's phenomenal, man. So let's go ahead and talk about what we're doing here conceptually. And we're going to be running kind of, where's Pitts? Pitts coming out here, kind of running this like hitch. You're going to have Ray coming out here, kind of running the same thing. You're going to have Mooney clear out, Algier to the flat. And then what we're doing with Drake here, kind of coming over the middle, running this in, settling down right about here. And what I want you to focus is what Kirk does to this linebacker, man. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. So right here, look at this. Is this throwing window here? Hell no, it ain't. What is Kirk doing? He's throwing to fucking nobody. But what does that do? It's going to move this linebacker. It's going to move this linebacker. Right here, linebacker moved. We work back inside. He can't make a play on this. Oh, my goodness, man. Oh, my God. This is phenomenal. This is phenomenal quarterback play, man. Just watch it. Watch how he moves this linebacker. 52, get the hell out of my window. I love it. I love it. I got no notes, 10 out of 10. I am glad we won because this is truly such a shame. This is a big drop from Mooney. It's a great job up front from the pass pro. It's a great ball from Kirk. It's just a catch we have to make. I am so glad this didn't end up hurting us and that we managed to win in overtime because I know Mooney, you could hear him on screen fucking pissed off at himself. So what we're doing is we're coming up here, running that. We got Drake London coming up, running the same thing, and you're going to have kind of the over-the-middle kind of hook as well. So this is the meat of the concept. Everybody else is staying in for pass pro. Again, look how they do. They do a really good job here. Pitts is kind of that check down option, but look at Kirk throwing this with anticipation. That's insane, man. That's world class. I cannot overstate how good that anticipation throw is. Oh, man. It's a brutal drop. It's brutal. But we're throwing with amazing anticipation. Oh, man. We just get done dirty. You got to catch that. Mooney knows it. Nobody's more upset than him. But again, one hell of a throw from Kirk Cousins. I don't know what else to say. That was just awesome. Phenomenal play call here. Once again, targeting the Tampa 2. What the Bucs want to run. Too deep. Kind of deep zone defender. We occupy him with kind of a seam route that he needs to kind of keep his eyes on in case it breaks and it gets thrown at. And we're able to hit the backside window wide open to Mooney here. Big chunk play when we needed it, trying to get this field goal to win the game. So this is where the ball's going to end up going to Mooney here. Coming up, releasing inside. You're going to see on the backside here, we're occupying this middle field player, running kind of the corner route. And then Drake's coming up and kind of running like a stop route. I'm limited on screen here. It doesn't look great. But you'll see it as we play it out here. Right here, Kirk opening this way. This linebacker is hunting for that seam window. He doesn't want it to be there. So what does that mean? It means he's not looking. It means we can throw in his window. We did this same play last week. It wasn't as deep, but it was the same kind of concept here. So going back to the well on offense, same kind of thing. We know Tampa wants to run this Tampa 2. And we just do a great job attacking it. Again, occupying that middle field player, making him watch that seam, and you just target the way he doesn't go. So it's awesome. It's an easy design. It's a great design. It's crazy to me how much we're running this concept, and it just keeps working. Tampa, I don't know what the hell they were thinking defensively, but it's honestly kind of embarrassing that they just kept getting worked on all these hitches. They need to reevaluate whatever the hell they're running defensively, because this is not it. Not versus what we were trying to run. This is just wide open. We're able to get what we want. Now, I understand for them, they're trying to get the tackle in bounds, so they might be wanting to give this up. But I think they give it up way too easily. So, this is where the ball is going to end up going up here, settling here. You're going to have Drake coming up, settling here, and then you're going to have right here Mooney coming up, again, playing that other hook. So, again, triple hitch. Kind of able to kind of keep working it here. Just wide open. I don't really have a lot of things to say. We've talked about this concept a bunch. We'll focus more on Kirk Cousins getting rid of this football. Pass pro here isn't perfect. But like I said, when you trust your offensive line, you're more likely to make these sort of throws because you're not seeing ghosts out there. You're just like, okay, all right, I'll make the throw. And, Ray makes a great catch. And, not able to get out of bounds. That was a bit unfortunate, but it worked out for us. All right, so right here, we get a decent ball. Not as good as, Kirk's been this game. A bit unfortunate here that, critical down here. We're not quite able to get the ball where we want. Obviously, it all works out, but I think, this is one that Kirk's going to say he needs to put a little bit more out in front of Ray. I also think, this would have been an amazing catch if Ray makes it. I think it's mostly a good defensive play more than anything. So, coverage-wise, route concept-wise, we got kind of this inside corner where we're running that. Ray coming up, kind of running across his face. Kind of a dagger concept. And we're just not able to kind of put the ball exactly where we want it. Pass pro is really good here. We got somebody on their ass just sitting there. I hope that guy's okay. But, just a little bit more of a precise football. And this is probably a conversion, and we have a little bit of an easier time late in this one. But, hey, you know what? It worked out. We won. So I'm not going to sit here and be super critical of it. I just think that's for the purpose of the video, I want to try to include some of these plays we can be a little bit more precise on. But I think we can look at this one and say, given how well Kirk played overall, it's not a big deal. Last one on here, not for any real reason. We're not even going to break it down. We're just going to let it bask over us here. That Kadarius Hodge house call in overtime, man. What a play. What a play. So overall, talking about this game here, I think we really saw this offense take a step forward. Now, looking at the past couple videos, I've been talking about how Drake London has showed to me that even if he wasn't getting the yardage, he's showed himself to be kind of a true number one receiver. And he really doubled down on that this game, really popped off. I thought Mooney had a really good game. Unfortunately had some drops. I thought they used Pitts a little bit better too. They were doing a better job kind of getting him out in space, kind of getting him vertical, not necessarily trying to ask him to run these quick slant routes. Instead, get him moving vertically, kind of deep down the field. So I think, Zac Robinson, in terms of passing concepts and passing the ball, obviously he was helped out by a tremendous game from Kirk Cousins, but I think, I liked a lot of what he was doing. I think there's a few things he can do better. Particularly, I think the run game really struggled, and I think we need to vary how we're using Bijan. But, that's something we can try to get straight over this kind of mini bye. We got 10 days to our next game. Just keep coaching through stuff, working on it. But just kind of enjoy the win. You're 3-2 now. You got Carolina coming up. You win that game, you're in a pretty good spot. So I hope they can kind of build on this, not let it just be a flash in the pan. But what an incredible game from Kirk Cousins. The offensive line, the receivers. Kyle Pitts, Bijan himself, a lot of good pass pro reps. Cannot overstate how well everybody played. So one hell of a win. I'm amped up about it. I know y'all are too. I'm glad I got to get to this film on Friday. Lucky to have the day off because it was fun.